Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For today, we are going to take a look at the beginning of the plastic money activity. Now, in this activity, you were to plan a purchase of $500 and explain what you would like to buy. So, I'm going to buy a laptop. Choose one of 4 credit options. Now, I'm going to choose a 5th credit option, and it's going to be credit card number 5, and that credit card offers me an iTunes gift card valued at $10. And I like music. And anime. Now, your credit card charges an annual yearly percentage rate, so APR, but your credit card is billed monthly. How is a monthly bill different than an annual bill? So monthly bills occur 12 times a year. Instead of just once. And then what is my credit card that I've chosen to charge me for a monthly percentage rate? Well, the APR for this credit card is let's see, 28%. That means that my monthly percentage rate, we're going to call that MPR, is going to be the 28% divided by 12. And that gives me, so 28 divided by 12, about 2.33 repeating percent. Now the multiplier I'm going to use so multiplier for interest. I apologize for the shaking of the camera. It's attached to my desk, and my desk is shaking a little bit as I'm writing. All right, so the multiplier for interest is going to be 2.33 divided by 100, which equals 0.0233. All right, that's going to take us to the next page. Now, with day 1, we had to actually look at how to do our calculations. So using the original amount charged, the $500, calculate the interest for the first month. So we need to take our 500 times that multiplier that we just figured out using our monthly percentage rate, so 0.0233. And that's going to equal 11.65, so $11.65. Now, down here in number 5, we have a table that we're starting. And what's really happening here is that we made a charge on our credit card of $500. Because it hadn't rolled to the next month yet, we were not charged interest, so our balance stayed at $500. And we failed to pay it off, which means that we still owe that $500 at the beginning of the next month. Now, the interest that I just calculated in number 1 is actually my answer for the interest charged for that first month where I'm going to be having to make a payment. So 11.65. Now, question 2 asks, what is the balance on your credit card after the interest has been included? So that's your balance after interest. Now, my balance before interest was $500. The interest I was charged is $11.65, and I need to add these two because my balance was just increased by the extra charge that the company is adding to my bill because I still owe them money. So they're charging me for owing them money. If you add these up, you get $511.65. So down here, I'm going to write 511.65. Now to our minimum payment. Now, all of our minimum payments were 5%. So that means that calculating the minimum payment using 5%, kind of like I had to turn the 2.33% into a multiplier, I have to turn this into a multiplier. To do that, I take 5 divided by 100 because percent literally means out of 100. And that becomes 0.05. So now I'm going to take my new balance, so this one up here, and multiply by 0.05. I always seem to write just a little too hard and break my pencil lead. All right, so 511.65 times 0.05 equals about $25.58. Now your minimum payment is going to depend on how much you owed and what 5% of that is. And that's the interesting part about working with percents. And again, I apologize for the shaky camera work. My camera is attached to my desk right now. Now, if I make a payment on the balance that I owe, then I'm going to owe less money, and less would mean subtraction. So the balance after my payment is going to be my balance before my payment, minus the payment, which equals $486.07. Now you're going to repeat those steps as you're going through here with this balance extending down to here. So 486.07. I'm going to take that times 0.0233. So the same way that I did up here, so times 0.0233, but using this number. And now I'm being charged $11.33. It's actually 11.325, but that 5 is going to round that 2 up to a 3. So 11.33 plus my 486.07. Add these two and I get 497.40. Now don't forget to actually write this in terms of dollars and cents. You always use 2 decimal places when you're dealing with dollars and cents. Now again, take this times 0.05 to figure out my minimum payment. And I have, let's see, 24.87. This is going to be subtracted from this one in order to figure out what I owe after I make my payment. So 472.53. Wrap this back around. And repeat the process. This number times 0.0233, my interest multiplier. So 11.01. Add 11.01 onto my beginning balance to figure out my new balance after interest has been added. So 483.54. Multiply that by 0.05. And I get 24.18 approximately. 483.54 minus 24.18. And I have 459.36. Just one more. Carry this on down. 459.36 times 0.0233. And now I'm being charged $10.70. Add 1070 onto the 459.63. And I get 470.33. 5% of that, so times 0.05, gives me 23.52. And again, take the 470.33 minus 23.52, and I get 446.81. Now, as you can tell, this is going to take quite a while to work through. So that means that down here we would actually have to start writing out formulas. Now, my beginning balance, I'm going to define variables up here. I'm going to say that number of payments is A, beginning balance is B, interest charged is C, balance after interest is D, the minimum payment is E, and balance after payment is F. These would match a spreadsheet if you were to use the columns. So my beginning balance over here, B. To find my interest charged, I take B times my multiplier, which was 0.0233 in my case. For you, it would be your interest multiplier. Balance after interest, so D would equal taking my balance before the interest, so my beginning balance, plus the interest charged. My minimum payment, I had to take my balance after interest times 0.05, and then my balance after payment, I took my balance after interest minus my payment to figure out what that difference was, and then F right here wrapped back around, and B ended up equaling F as I went through. Don't worry about this number of payments part. I'm not requiring you guys to fill that out. Right? And then please go on to the next video using Google Sheets to calculate credit card debt to help you with problem number 7. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in class.